right, so join me today as we take a little bit of a field trip to answer the question, where does our food come from? So unlike grocery stores where it goes from here to there to over there and who knows where it goes in between, at the community market of Pleasant Hill, we only sell what we grow. And so we're going to go out and check out the Wilson Farm today out in Adel, Iowa, and see where the food comes from. So we've arrived at Wilson Farms and Produce, where we'll meet Gretchen York and Dan Wilson, who are a father-daughter farming pair. So this was originally a cattle farm.
Yep.
And you've been here since you were a year old.
Yep.
A year old. And so it was your parents' farm. Was it your grandparents before that, or
Yep.
your grandparents before that? So you just said you moved it all out here from where?
From across the road.
From across the road.
That's where Grandma lived at.
So Grandma lived across there, and you grew up in this house?
Yep.
And Gretchen is your daughter.
Yes.
And so this is a father-daughter type deal we got going here, which is great because this weekend is, although this probably will air later, but this weekend is Father's Day. And so this is a very good time to come out and do this. So we're out in Adel, Iowa, and at the Wilson Farms. And so show us around.
Show us around.
We'll start there.
Just to give you history, it was a cattle farm, and so
Okay.
this section here, that was a corral. The whole setup, the lots and all that stuff was set up when I was in college, and I graduated from college in 1974. So it was designed in 72, 73.
Okay.
So since that time, it's been broke down into
What it is today.
what it is today into
What
a
it is
garden
today.
setup.
So what do you grow? Let's go see. Oh my. That's where our tomatoes come from.
It is.
So today, as we're doing this little field trip, we're learning where our food comes from, and this is where it is. So why is there a stove in your?
So we start all of our plants from seed, so that way then we know the entire process and the stage of them. We start them in Dad's basement in a spare bedroom. Once it's overflowing, we will then bring everything out here to the heated greenhouse. So in the back, there are benches where we'll go through and transplant into bigger cells and things like that.
And about what time of the year does this happen?
That was around March 1. So instead of using propane for the heating, I burn a lot of wood.
You burn wood.
I burn a lot of wood. That's why the wood stove is here, is that I come out at 1:30 at night and load it up so that it'll carry through the night. So.
And so when do you plant? You said that you do seedlings. When do the seeds go in? When do you start that?
It goes about January 1.
January 1.
Close beginning of the year, we start everything, and then
I just
February.
keep cycling through.
Yep.
I use a heat mat and grow lights in the basement to get everything started. And by the time my basement's overflowing, that's when I say March 1, we come out here.
Right.
And fired up and start heating it. And so we transplanted tomatoes into here to get those going. And
So about the time that the community farmers market starts registering,
Yes.
you're already planting
oh yeah,
seedlings or seeds by then. Very cool. Okay, so these are tomatoes. This is like the tomato area.
Yep, we've got red juice tomatoes in here, and then also the early girls.
Okay. All right, let's see what else we have. So just as I'm looking at how much there is here, is there more than just the two of you? The two of you do this. Wow. Okay. So more tomatoes. Oh, and cucumbers, yes?
Yep, so we've got more early girl tomatoes, big beef tomatoes, and then this is how we were able to get those early production cucumbers.
Okay.
We've got the 3 different varieties. This was something new that we tried this year. We did Sweet Success and Corinthio, which is a variety of cucumbers that do not require pollination.
Oh, okay.
so and just to make note so they're aware, they grow in soil. They're not a hydroponic
Right.
tomato or pepper or anything that we
Okay.
grow.
All right.
Over here we've got green beans that there's a good chance we'll be able to have green beans
Oh, soon.
Soon.
very soon.
We like green beans.
Yes.
Look at there. And so we are on the first part of June, and you've already got green beans.
We push the envelope to get everything going early.
As early as you can.
sugar snap peas. Don't mind the weeds. We should also, sugar snap peas should
be out soon too.
Yeah.
And you already have zucchini at the
Yep.
market already.
Yep, we've been having them.
Yeah, we opened the market first Monday of June, and as the Wilson farm set up, I noticed they got zucchini, and I'm a zucchini lover.
And we had enough zucchini that we took some into the food bank into Adel already.
Oh wow!
More peppers, and then we have our midnight snack cherry tomatoes and yellow pear cherry tomatoes.
So when people ask, because we often get this question, how do they get tomatoes so early? Because often they'll ask if they come from Missouri or from different states, and it's because you start them in these greenhouses.
Yep.
Greenhouses.
So like the top rolls down here, and then the sides roll up, so it can completely be enclosed.
Enclosed. And
More
More
tomatoes.
more tomatoes. So you have in your head that this is like a huge production, but really it's in how many acres do you?
There's about 4 acres that we
About
have.
4 acres,
Yep.
and you produce a lot in that amount of acreage.
We compact everything. We don't have wide aisles or anything like that. You know, we're just as
Pretty
tight
much
as we can
wide
get.
enough that a tiller could go through them.
Right.
If that.
Yes, but no tractors or anything. This is all pretty much by hand or small
Rototiller
tiller.
or tiller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or by hand.
Okay, these are what kind of peppers are these?
Banana peppers.
Banana peppers.
We've got banana peppers. We've got a couple of different hatch peppers, habaneros, and more bell peppers. in
Do
here.
we pretty much grow the same thing every year, or do you try
Pretty-
new stuff every once in a while?
Last year was new. We did the kohlrabi because we had a lot of people ask about the
Right.
kohlrabi, so that was something new. So this year we upped it. Last year we did 250. This year we'll have 750 that we've planted.
Wow.
So we always
Wow.
try and listen to what customers want, and if we're short on something, then we'll kind of ramp
Speaking
up.
of kohlrabi,
Yes.
we've got it right there. And are we still planting
Oh yeah.
over there? Still
Yeah.
planting. So do you do this in cycles?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So
And
like, these onions were planted before all the rain that
Okay.
we had gotten. So I think there's 2,500 onions here in this set. Just here. These.
so what is this plastic that's down here?
We're eco-friendly in that what I do is go up to the elevator up at Redfield, and the plastic they use to cover their grain pile, their corn pile, they throw away. It's a throwaway item to them. And so I go up and get it. I cut it into strips, cut the holes into it, and I've got one piece of plastic that's over 12 years old.
Wow.
We just reuse
Just
it
keep
year
using
after
it.
year.
And that keeps the weeds down, I'm assuming is why we
Yes.
do that.
So we'll lay drip tube underneath for watering, and then we'll lay our plastic, and then we'll drill the holes and plant all the different whatever we're planting.
Right, at the time.
So that way it helps control weeds as much as possible
Yep,
for us.
some have to be further apart than others as we're noticing.
Yep, so
as we move
depending on what we're planting, depends on the spacing. Onions, these are just 6-inch rows or 6-inch spacing. So again, it varies between what we're planting.
Right. More pepper. And so Gretchen, have you farmed all the way through, or did
So this is my fifth year of helping Dad. I used to live up in Boone, and my husband and I, we actually built the blue house back here.
Okay.
Is where I live, and my husband, and so it's always nice that Dad and I can kind of meet in the middle. So I left my corporate job to come down here and to help Dad with the garden, and so now this is my
Very cool.
full-time job.
Because we use no chemicals, we know the cucumbers in that high tunnel are going to die
Right.
from the insects. And so we've got a second planting of these. We'll be getting a second planting of zucchini going shortly because we have a problem with scorch bugs on that one also. So, you know, we're no chemical. We're not a certified organic, but we don't believe in chemicals.
And that's why we've got the hay crop around us.
Okay.
So that way no chemicals are sprayed around us.
Oh. See, those are things that that people like myself don't even think about. I mean, we think about the fact we don't want a bunch of chemicals on our food, but we don't think about what it takes to do that. We think about, okay, then you don't put chemicals, but we don't think about the environment and how big it is.
Yep.
Well, that concludes our little field trip of the Wilson Farms and Produce. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, as we got to know Gretchen York and Dan Wilson of Wilson Farms and Produce a little bit better and answered some of our questions about where our food comes from. We would love to see you if you're ever in the Iowa area at the Community Farmers Market of Pleasant Hill. That's just outside of Des Moines in Pleasant Hill, Iowa. We run from June to August from 4 to 7 every Monday. So if you're ever in the area, come see us. And if not, I hope you learned a lot. Have a great day.